kind of Anna Bauer like that way. Um, and we're live. It is Thursday, the 22nd day of January, the year of our Lord 2026. And folks, I have an important announcement to make. Um, I have not yet received a proof of life from Anna Bauer this morning.
You
She
should
was
never promise Anna Bauer.
she was supposed to be the guest on the show, but I'm afraid she has disappeared. Um, there is no evidence. Whoa. There is a lawless president on the show. Um, there is no evidence that Anna Bauer is among the living today. I have texted her repeatedly. I have called her. All of these texts have been delivered, and yet she has not responded. So there are three possibilities. One is that Lindsay Halligan, fresh from her government service, has kidnapped Anna Bauer. Um, and the second possibility is that Anna Bauer is mad at me because of some dastardly deed that I did and is ghosting me. I think this is unlikely, but it's possible I do dastardly deeds. And the third possibility, of course, which is by far the most likely,
She's been conscripted to fight in Greenland.
she may be conscripted to fight in Greenland. I was going to say that she's overslept, which is a shame if true, and yet I think the preponderant likelihood. So we may or may not be joined by Anna Bauer later in the show. Um, uh, we have a lot to talk about with Anna Bauer, who not only achieved final vindication with the departure of Lindsay Halligan this week, but also managed to break a story that has nothing to do with lawfare whatsoever. But it turns out that Taylor Swift and Blake Lively were exchanging text messages, and Anna Bauer obtained them and published them on her Substack. And so, we may end up still talking about all those issues with the estimable Anna Bauer, but we may not. Look, the sun is shining either way. The birds are chirping. I am 2 days from leaving the country and going to Kiev. Um, and it's going to be a great fucking day. And you are watching Dog Shirt TV. And it is
Dog Shirt TV, a forking revolution in morning television.
that, and look how aligned the cactuses are today. They are in sync. You are watching Dog Shirt TV, and it is a forking revolution in morning television. And one of the revolutionary features is that, when we tell you on a Wednesday morning that Anna Bauer is going to be the guest on Thursday morning, we don't necessarily stand by that on Thursday morning if Anna Bauer gets eaten by snakes, kidnapped by Lindsay Halligan, or oversleeps,
Or conscripted to Greenland.
or conscripted to Greenland or Iceland. Um, and another one of the revolutionary features, and there are a number of them, is that sometimes a lawless president voodoo doll shows up on the show with no explanation whatsoever. And we just deal with that. And Holly is uh, pricking him with pins. I think we're just not even going to talk about this. We're just going to let it stand on
No,
its
we have
own.
because there's a feature that we need to talk about.
There is?
Yes, it talks. I don't know that you're going to be able to hear it, but you can record things, and the person who gave this to me recorded a message. Oh,
This has
Wait.
all the
I'm gonna have to figure
earmarks
this
of a
out.
Melissa operation.
No, this is a
No?
Dale. This is a Dale
It's a
operation.
Dale operation. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Anyway,
let's.
I'll have to figure it out. But he recorded you saying something complimentary about me, I think. Is
Oh,
what
and
it
I
was.
have just received a text from Anna Bauer, and it says, "Ah, my alarm didn't go off. I'm coming."
I don't know, like
And
how alarms aren't actually hard. This is what I don't understand about people whose alarms are constantly
well,
not
we're gonna
going off.
razz her about it when she shows up, because you know, that is one of the things that I also don't use alarms anymore. I sometimes set them, but then I always wake up like 20 minutes before the
Yeah.
alarm, because I don't sleep anymore. Because that's nobody told me that was a thing about being in my 50s, that I
Yes.
just don't sleep anymore.
No, you don't. You don't need sleep because your brain is atrophying, and why would it need sleep?
And also, I've already done all of my, you know, I've from an evolutionary point of view, I'm already dead. Uh, so you know, because I've already reproduced, I'm completely useless from an evolutionary point of view. Um, and so yeah,
Men
all
are
of
a lot more
which.
useful than women. Women are the really useless ones
Well,
when you
I am
reach a certain age.
theoretically useful, but it's really only in theory, since I'm not running
Well, you
around.
can
I'm not,
still
you know,
reproduce.
Genghis Khan, you know, conquering territory.
You can still
And
reproduce, and that's from an evolutionary standpoint. That's the main thing. So,
right, so I guess I'm awake because I have important uh, evolutionary functions to perform. Linda,
Linda,
oh,
oh,
well, I, this requires no explanation.
Oh,
Um,
but I will point out, this was from Trump round one. Great wall building for idiots.
he's forgotten
And
about the
he's got
wall.
a dollar sign and New York loves me.
yeah,
Push,
whatever
push,
happened to the
push
wall?
to inflate head.
Done.
He's got some lips on his butt. Yeah. This is such a fantastic, and it's held up for almost 10 years now, and his hair is
That's because
lovely.
you don't have Cleo the
Yeah,
dog.
I had
Who
one. I
would?
had a small version of that, and actually I had one. I had two, and my previous dog destroyed the first one, and Lilo destroyed the second one. So
Well, I have a video of it being attacked. Apparently, my dogs aren't vicious enough. But anyway, sorry to butt into the monologue.
No, please.
I
You
thought,
know,
he
we're
needed
all
to have
relieved,
some
Linda.
visibility. So anyway,
so all of that is a long-winded way of saying, with Trump dolls, that we are not allowed to have fun anymore, but we are allowed to have uh, Andrew Steele show up with a note that says "The War on Plato," of which I didn't know there was one, except perhaps one being waged by the Bronze Age pervert. Um, uh,
Ironic.
Ironic. Andrew, what's on your mind this morning?
Morning, everyone. Morning, Holly. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
And so I saw in a recent The Situation that you cited, maybe it was Thrasymachus, one of the characters in the book one of the Republic, saying what justice is to basically do good things for your friends and harm your enemies. And it reminded me of just a couple weeks ago. I'm posting it in the chat. The, I guess, board of regents of Texas A&M ordered a contemporary philosophy professor. It was contemporary moral problems or something, to remove readings from Plato from his syllabus because they discussed gender ideology. Um,
Mm.
which is, I mean, this is the pendulum has swung into a completely insane place. The professor and some people who have talked about it are sort of up in arms and trying to give it some visibility because it's truly just a joke that you could think that Plato is somehow like woke. Um, and it also reminded me, so
I
yeah,
mean,
take a look at that article
Plato was
there. But yeah,
actually, like, if you actually get down and dirty with the Republic, Plato was something of an absolutist authoritarian,
yes.
in a intellectually open-minded sort of way. Um, but he certainly was not woke.
Yes, he did in the Republic permit women to be considered for like being warriors, and I think maybe even like the Order of Philosopher Kings. Um, and Socrates had some pretty, favorable. He was instructed by a woman in one of the speeches he gives. He describes learning about the ways of love from a female philosopher. Take that as you will. So yeah, so I just,
I will also point
yeah.
out that a lot of what we think of as, at least in the public sphere, as sort of ancient Greek women are actually Roman, and the Greeks had a very uh, uh, disapproving attitude toward the Roman allowance of women to be in, in public spaces. What we think of now as sort of like, the Gulf Arab, Saudi keeping women inside and not allowing them outside. That's really comes from ancient Greece,
Hmm.
um, and we think of it now as an Islamic culture thing, but it was an Islamic culture inheritance from ancient Greece, and uh,
I don't know. Oppression of women is so widespread. Can any one
oh no,
person
no,
or tradition
not
claim it?
oppression. This isn't. I mean, all societies oppress ancient societies and most modern societies oppress women, but this is like keeping women inside and not allowing them outside, not allowing women's faces to be seen. Not a. This was a very Greek thing, and the idea that you would have, for example, a social event at which there were women was shocking to the Greeks, but very common in Rome.
Women
And
entertainers you might have, but
right.
not participants.
Anyway,
Yep.
so uh, Anna Bauer will be joining us momentarily. The sleep dripping from her eyes and whatnot. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off, Andrew. You were saying.
No, no, just to sort of conclude the thought, it's just I feel bad for the people of Texas that
Texas A&M, it's been bad. I
been
have a
pretty like, yeah, repressive.
Yeah, it's been Texas A&M of the secular, universities, like legit universities, like they've taken a very bad right turn.
Yep. But I think we can take positive turns. And it reminded me also of Ben. I had put together sort of like a study guide for the Euthyphro and Apology that we were
Excellent.
considering
So
discussing. I shot it around via email. I'll send it again because it was a while ago.
yeah,
But
so I am behind on my email because I have
cool.
been dealing with matters Liz Surkoff and matters getting ready for my trip to Ukraine. We also have a uh, Mara book club scheduled, I
Ooh,
believe, for the 15th.
what is the book? I haven't been reading.
Yes, let me remind everybody of this. So the guest is Corey Shockey,
Oh, right.
the one of my dearest friends in the world, and the book is "The State and the Soldier: A History of Civil Military Relations in the
Hmm,
United States," and the
timely.
fiction wine pairing is a book by Phil Clay called Redeployment, which is Corey tells me the best single book about the best single recent piece of fiction. It's I think, a book of short stories about military military life that she's read in a very long time. And so that is on the 15th. And Andrew, what I would suggest is that if you can put the study guide for the dialogues in a Google Doc that can be
Hmm.
shared, or even put them on your Substack,
Yes.
and I can, and then send me dates that you would like to do discussions of them, we can launch Mara Mini or Smara, as we may be calling it. And now Anna Bauer has arrived. And so we will get that scheduled, and a reminder to everybody, please, to order copies of Corey's book and Wine Pairing, and mark your calendars. It is on the Dog Shirt Daily calendar for those who are following along on the calendar. So please mark that down, and we will discuss these books with Corey then. And Andrew, just email me with some dates that work for you, and I will make them work.
Cool. Awesome. Very excited for this upcoming discussion. See ya.
Anna,
Hello.
should we razz you about the fact that alarms are easy to use and
Yeah, I mean, I'm either, I don't know why it didn't go off, but I'm assuming it's because I just forgot to set it. But yes, I come here bearing the unique shame of someone who's overslept and whose alarm
Is
did
it
not-
unique because you've done it before?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't think that for Dog Shirt Daily my alarm I've overslept. I think
Well,
that I just
Okay.
So-
usually wake up late for Dog Shirt Daily.
So I just have one question before we get started,
What?
which I'm going to give no explanation of to the audience, but I am dying to know the answer, which is, were you in touch with Taylor Swift last night?
No.
Hold on, let me check my text.
Or Blake Lively.
No. Taylor Swift did neither called nor text me back.
I have
Okay.
a very important question for
Yes.
Taylor Swift before we go into the legal aspects of things. And that is, how many times have you watched the Eras Tour documentary now?
Okay, so my mom loves Taylor Swift. My mom also has Alzheimer's disease, and she sees it on the television and forgets that she has watched the Eras Tour documentary. So therefore, over the Christmas break, I watched the Eras Tour documentary like 3 times all the way
Oh,
through. with my
Anna,
mom.
I've done that, and no one in my household has Alzheimer's. I've just done it because I just want to live in a world where someone competent and kind is in charge, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, what did you think of the documentary? Because
Well, I
people
watched it
have
3
so many
times. What do you
feel-
think?
Well, you really liked it, obviously, and I really liked it too. I will say I wish that it had more Taylor in it. Like I
really?
liked the dancer stories, but I personally felt like we needed more Taylor.
I thought that was a sweet thing about it. I loved hearing. I mean, and it was a testament to her, you know,
Yes.
the fact that she highlighted so many other people.
I
Anyway,
also
loved
love some of those like I love Cam. He's my favorite.
All right,
Yeah.
wait, but we have business we have to attend to, which
Yeah.
is that I think if we do not have a live text exchange with Lindsay Halligan, as
Did you try to text her?
well, no, I just think we need to have one
Oh.
on the show,
Oh,
and
yes.
I think you should text
Text her
Anna.
right now.
Anna, I think you should text Lindsay Halligan. You know, just just checking in, making sure you're okay. If you want to talk about it, we're live on Dog Shirt TV. Please join us.
I think that I should not do that. But if you would like to call her, you have her number. You go right ahead.
I do, but she and I don't have a relationship. Whereas she and you clearly have a bond.
Is she a Swiftie? I bet she's a Swiftie. Just text her some random Taylor Swift lyrics and see what happens. Look what you made me do.
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, jokes aside about Lindsay Halligan, uh, and look, it is super tempting because I have this cool new function, thanks to my snazzy new soundboard, where I can call anybody I can call on the phone. I can route that call through my soundboard with trivial ease using a Bluetooth connection between my phone and my soundboard. And so I do have Lindsay Halligan's phone number, and we could just call her and do it live. But you know what? I'm a good person, and sandbagging people with phone calls to live radio or television is a shitty thing to do. And I'm not going to do it even to Lindsay Halligan. Um, uh, so, here is my question, Annabelle. Give us first of all, a summary of the last few days of the professional life of Lindsay Halligan, because I think she's had a rough time, and I want to, put out there like what she's gone through.
Yeah, and she made much of the last few days in her statement when she released after it was announced that she was leaving the Eastern District of Virginia as U.S. Attorney. So there's a judge named David Novak that was a big part of Lindsay's no good, very bad week this week.
Who
He
appointed him to the bench?
Donald Trump
And
appointed
who
him to the
who
bench.
appointed him before that?
Who did? I actually don't know.
George W. Bush.
Oh, George
And
W.
he
Bush.
was not confirmed. And then he was reappointed. I think he was made a magistrate judge and then elevated by Trump.
That's
Um,
right.
So yeah, this is not I have to say, I mean, in all with all Schadenfreude on the table, I think his opinion is dead wrong. But like leave that aside. People who want my views of that can look at my situation column about
Well,
this
let me tell
dispute.
people what opinion
Yeah.
you're talking about. So after Judge Curry, who is the judge who was out of circuit, who was appointed to rule in the Comey and the James cases and any related matter in which the same issue was raised. After she decided in that case that Lindsay Halligan was unlawfully appointed, Judge Novak gets two criminal cases in which Lindsay Halligan is still purporting to be the United States attorney, though Judge Curry had just ruled that she's unlawfully appointed as the United States attorney. So he issues this order sua sponte, which means of his own volition, saying, Lindsay Halligan, I need you to give me an explanation as to why you are still using this title that you're not supposed to be using, and is it a false statement or a misrepresentation? So she
And he
responds,
specifically cites the ethical code of conduct that forbids attorneys from making misrepresentations to tribunals.
yeah. So she responds and says, in a filing that has like the most vitriol, says, oh, dear, I can hear myself.
It's okay. I stopped it.
Oh, perfect. In a filing that I've never seen anything like it.
Right.
It has, like just the most vitriol of any. It's just dripping with acid. It is like directly antagonizing the judge. It's also signed by, I think it was Blanche and one other person. Is that right, Ben?
Bondi.
And
It's signed by
it's signed by
Lindsay
Bondi.
Halligan. It's signed by the putative U.S. attorney, the deputy attorney general, the attorney general of the United States, and two really unfortunate AUSAs.
Yeah, and I mean it's actually like they in the brief, they actually have a pretty plausible legal argument because, typically district court judge opinions aren't binding on other district court judge opinions within the district. They have, these arguments that they can make, whatever, but they kind of just like really go after this judge and make it out like he's abusing his power, all this stuff. So the judge, putting their, legal arguments aside, comes out this week and says, like, I'm gonna ignore all the mean things that you said to me, and I'm gonna tell you that I'm striking your use of the U.S. Attorney title from these indictments, and you better not use that title again, or else I'm going to refer you for attorney discipline for making misrepresentations to the court. And Lindsay gets really upset about this, and you can tell she gets upset about this because she devotes like a whole paragraph in her statement following her resignation or leaving of the U.S. Attorney's Office to basically talking about Judge Novak putting her through this difficult situation of being mean to her.
Yeah. So how do you read her? I mean, her response, which I assume was at least cleared with the Deputy Attorney General's office, was, first of all, I thought right on important points of the law, and secondly, the single most inappropriate filing I've ever seen by a government lawyer. Just in terms of the appropriate tone to take toward a federal judge. That said, rather to my surprise, Judge Novak's this actually did drive her from office. And it wasn't just that, it was also that the court as an institution 2 or 3 days ago said, hey, it's January 20th. That's 120 days from your appointment. Yeah. We're now interviewing other people for the job. The district court's like, we're seeing other people now. You can whether you call yourself U.S. attorney or not, it's an open marriage.
Yeah, and they publicly, they publicly posted a statement soliciting applications.
Have you considered applying?
Because
I think it would be hilarious if the district court appointed you.
Many people have tweeted at me the joke of that I should apply, but personally, I think that the next U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia should continue the tradition of former South Beach Tow reality show stars. So therefore, I would like to nominate Bernice
She's
of
not
South
a lawyer.
Beach Tow. Yeah, but I mean, these days, do you really need to be a U.S. attorney or a lawyer to be a U.S. attorney, Ben? So
Right,
I
that's a
would
good question.
and also Bernice has defied death before. I don't know if you've ever seen the famous Bernice Defies Death episode, but if you haven't, it is one of the best episodes of reality TV that I have ever seen in my life. And Bernice probably knows some things about the law because they probably run into Fourth Amendment issues and things like that with towing cars in South Beach. So,
Right. See, these are the questions that if we did have Lindsay Halligan on the show right now, if we were bad people and we just called her up and Bluetoothed her into the show, we could ask her whether there's going to be a second season of South Beach Tow now that she's got all this time on her hands.
My big question is she gonna go back to to censoring the Smithsonian? Like, is that going to be her thing again?
Right. So, like, what is she going to do now? Is she going to go back to the White House? So Alina Habba, the president and Pam Bondi took care of, right? They made her special counsel to the Attorney General for U.S. attorneys, which is a position that doesn't exist, but okay, she's got presumably a salary and a no work job at the Justice Department. But what do we know about Lindsay Halligan's fate right now? Like, it seems like she, did yeoman service for the president, indicted two of his political enemies that he couldn't get anybody else to bring cases against. And now she's going to be left out of the cold, unemployed and destitute. What do we know about what she's up to?
Well, I don't think that we know, but speaking of being left out in the cold, what if she gets sent to Minnesota to do political prosecutions in Minnesota?
Right.
They probably are going to need someone there soon, because I'm hearing that there have been some people that quit recently.
Well, and there's also this, new grand jury down in South Florida that's focused on the grand jury, grand conspiracy thing. And she does have a unique bit of experience, which no other federal prosecutor that I know of has, which is she has not once, not twice, but, well, like a lot of times, personally walked into a grand jury and asked for completely frivolous indictments against the president's political enemies based on conspiracy theories. And there aren't actually a lot of federal prosecutors who've done that. And so I want to say to Jason Redding Quinones, who's the U.S. attorney in Florida and who's supervising the grand conspiracy grand jury, that, she's available, and this is a matter about which she has some unusual expertise.
Well, and also to be real for a second, she has actually appeared in court in the Southern District of Florida before.
It's true.
She was, on Trump's defense team. I don't recall an occasion in which she ever had a speaking role while throughout the duration of any of those cases in the Southern District of Florida, but she did file the special master, the appointment of a special master suit in Fort Pierce, I believe. So she has filed papers and has appeared in court in the Southern District of Florida, which is a step up from her experience in the Eastern District of Virginia.
But you haven't heard from her about what I'm worried about her. I mean, and I think.
Well, why don't you call her, Ben?
All right, I'm going to text her. Signal. Let me find Lindsay Halligan.
While he's doing that, Anna, so thanks for the Taylor Swift text. I read that like first thing in the morning yesterday when I saw it. I was like, yes, this is breaking news. My question for you on that is, I'm confused about the current status of their friendship. I've read different things.
Yeah, it's not clear. I keep up with the celebrity gossip. I have not verified any of this information. I am speaking these words as a person who reads gossip magazines and tabloids and sites and all of that. And so I'm not speaking about this as a journalist. But
Taylor Swift journalist.
Okay. I'm not a Taylor Swift journalist. But what I gather is that something about their relationship got strained, and you can actually see that in the text messages.
Yep.
Because they have this like interesting exchange where Blake Lively is like, has something changed between us? And Taylor Swift says, it's all fine, and it seems like it gets resolved, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like,
but it can change the tenor of things. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. And now my understanding is that like Taylor was unhappy, according to these reports, that she ended up getting pulled into this lawsuit.
Although that's not like Blake's fault, you know?
Yeah, it's not Blake's fault. And it seems like my understanding from the gossip stuff I was reading was like Taylor like didn't want her to, file this suit or something like that. But if you read these messages, it seems pretty clear Taylor was like supportive of her friend, like, going after this guy, filing a complaint or whatever. Because I think that some of the messages covered the period when Blake filed like the sexual harassment state law claim.
Hey,
or something.
Anna, just check your text messages for a moment. I need you to verify for me that I'm texting the right number here.
What are you saying? Someone suggested you say, "Hey, girly pop, you okay?"
No. That would be patronizing, guys.
Yes, that is the correct number.
Okay, I am about to text. Hey there, Ben Wittes here. Wondering what your plans are for your post-EDVA life. Will you be going back to the White House? Do you have other plans? I am currently on a live stream show and would love to share whatever you can tell me about what comes next for you.
I'm guessing she will not reply.
I would not say the live stream part, but like,
Oh, I just did.
Oh.
I believe in transparency, Anna Bauer. And so there we go. We have reached out live on the show I should also say, if you want to join us on the live stream,
totally going to do
feel
that.
free to call me at this number! Exclamation mark.
And if she would like to join
will
the
be
resistance,
live until 9 a.m.
if she would like
Thanks.
to join the resistance, we can get her a frog costume.
Yeah, no, we can tell her that if she shows up. But this is just just business.
Well, wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, there's so many things here. Holly and I. Okay, Holly. 1 second, I will come back to that. This is the other thing I was going to say, Ben, is that I don't know if you recall, but Lindsay Halligan was in charge of doing this review of the Smithsonian. That
Correct.
was like
And
project.
I'm personally hoping that she's planning to go back to the Smithsonian
She's going to get rid of all
role
the
to
DEI.
get rid of references to slavery, and because I'm worried that function has kind of atrophied in the administration since her departure.
You know what they could do with the African American History Museum is they could turn it into a whole like living history of Gone with the Wind. They could make it. They could put some white pillars on the outside and like turn it into a Southern mansion, and then like everybody could wear hoop skirts. It could be really, really fun.
Right? I mean, look, you could get really sick with this really fast, but
you could.
you could, if you want to turn the African American History Museum into like a sort of Gone with the Wind set, right? Like I could imagine putting Lindsay Halligan in charge of that project. So, not
Totally.
just saying, just creating options for a woman who needs a job at this point.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Do we think that Lindsay Halligan is a Swiftie?
I mean, age-wise and demographics, the chances are good. Yes.
All right, Ben.
All right.
If she responds, that's your next question.
Yeah. No, I will obviously, if she responds, I will share any information that she sends. I will say that unlike with Anna, Lindsay does not normally respond to my texts, whereas with Anna, they have this relationship, the source of which is completely mysterious, but she is more likely to respond when Anna texts.
The last time I messaged her, she did not respond, which was right after the second grand jury declined to reindict Letitia James. and I messaged her to, ask basically what her thinking was about the case after a second grand jury has declined to indict.
Yeah.
Because if you recall, she at one point told me that when the evidence comes out, I would be embarrassed and completely discredited. So I did not
Do you feel
receive a
discredited
response.
and embarrassed?
I feel the exact opposite.
Okay, just checking, because we're checking in on people's emotional states today, and wouldn't want to find out the hard way that you felt all completely discredited.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that I'm not going to be getting a whole lot of future responses from Lindsay Halligan, but it is what it is. But we'll see. Who knows? Life is
All right,
long.
so let's talk about your scoop this week that had obviously nothing to do with Lindsay Halligan. But you guys were starting to talk about it before I returned the conversation to Lindsay. But
Yes, I don't know though if I can talk. I don't know if I can talk about it because it's not totally done playing out yet.
well,
you
What,
talking
Taylor
about-
Swift thing?
no,
what?
I'm talking about the your publication of the texts between
Oh,
Blake Lively
okay.
and
I was like,
Taylor
wow.
Swift.
I was like, are you more involved in this case than I thought?
Well, yes,
I
she
think we're
is,
talking
and
about
you're gonna
something
being called as a
you-
witness.
you may be about to you soon there may be further developments in this, but let's stick with the public record for now. So
Yeah.
Anna, first of all, I just want people to understand the difference between reporting on Blake Lively and Taylor Swift and reporting on lawfare matters. What is you're one of lawfare's most trafficked traffic
sound
generating wrong word, sorry, traffic generating writers, not trafficked writers. But
You're
Wow. Is this in my future too? I'm getting sucked into like a web.
a human
of
trafficking
all.
ring? No, I would say generating
I'm
web
not in the
traffic
trafficking
for
ring.
lawfare. And yet you were surprised at how your Substack performed this week when you broke a little bit of news on Taylor and Blake Lively. So give us a sense of lawfare, high substance versus Blake Lively, Taylor Swift texts. Just by the numbers.
Yeah,
What does it
I'm
look
looking
like?
right now and it's so crazy. It's so crazy. So all right, my Substack, I only occasionally post things on it. So I do gotta say that this is like maybe not the best metric in terms of comparing like lawfare's traffic
But like, how
to-
many subscribers
No.
do you have on the Substack?
I only have on my Substack like 1,500 subscribers,
Okay,
right?
so it's a small Substack.
small
It's
Substack.
not like a giant one like Heather Cox Richardson or Dog Shirt Daily.
No, and I
See what I did
only
there?
occasionally post on it. It's kind of where I put extra stuff or stuff that like if I'm up in at 1 a.m. and I just want to randomly write something and I don't want to wake Tyler McBrien up to post it on Lawfare, then it's like sometimes like that little thing will go on my Substack or something, So it's kind of just my random spot to put things that maybe whatever. So, and sometimes there are scoops on there, like when we scooped the Dan Richmond civil suit, that is my article with the most views, and it is titled "The Civil Suit That Could Derail the Comey Prosecution Again." And it had 6.14 thousand views on that. And I should say that scoop was like that people linked to it in some of these like national articles. So that's like a lot for me for my Substack because I mean my other pieces only get like 2,000 views. All right? So keep those numbers in mind, guys. It goes between 2,000 to like maximum 6,000 views. I posted yesterday, I think it was, or Wednesday, Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, a piece that is titled, I read Taylor Swift's text with Blake Lively and you can too. And all it was just like a few
Clickbait, total
paragraphs.
clickbait.
Yeah, total clickbait, except not really, because it actually is me giving people Taylor Swift's text with Blake Lively. The reason that I had these text messages is because in the course of the Lively versus Wayfarer litigation, which is Blake Lively's suit against Justin Baldoni related to the film It Ends With Us, Taylor Swift's text messages were kind of pulled into this case because she's friends with Blake Lively and they talked about Justin Baldoni. So I, being a legal reporter and knowing as a reader of gossip magazines that no one's going to link to these text messages and people will be like, where can I find these text messages? I'm like, I'm going to do the public service of just linking these text messages so that people can easily find them.
And just to be clear, did you get them from a secret source?
No, they're on the public docket. They are.
So this is just knowing how to read a federal court docket, and knowing that the court listener site exists, knowing that the document exists. You go to the docket, you click the right document, you've got the text messages, right? Not like a big sleuthing operation on your part. No offense.
John asks, I am confused if Anna's Substack came before or after the Reddit post. I have no idea what you're talking about, John, but so apologies, but my post came out on Tuesday night, it was a few hours afterward. I had to actually comb through all the materials to find these, like personally. I didn't whatever you're referring to. Okay. You're going to find the timestamp. There you go. Well, I can assure you, I had to suffer through searching these materials that were not labeled Taylor Swift's text messages. They were like BL00052, like BL000.
Okay, so there was some sleuthing involved.
There was like work that went into it. Like it
Okay.
took a few hours to get these together. But so I post them. Keep in mind, Ben, maximum 6,000 views on my other Substack post. Do you want to guess how many views this post got?
Well, I should not guess because I
told
know
you.
because I know the answer as of yesterday evening.
All right,
So
20,000.
here are some Greek chorus guesses.
20,000.
We're gonna go well north of Jeff's and Holly's guess here. Why don't you our high guess here is 54,000. Carol has just come in at 1 million. Fred at 120,000. What's the right answer here?
All right, Frank, you are the closest that I have seen. I am at currently right now 111,000.
Wow.
So
I need
this
to
is
write on
a
Taylor
This
Swift
is on
more.
a Substack with 1,500 subscribers, which is like that's overperforming your polls there.
Well, you probably posted it on your social medias though, which are obviously you have a lot of followers on the
Yes, it did. It's interesting. Actually, the metrics on the social media is very interesting because on Blue Sky, which is actually where I usually get more engagement for my content that is about my normal journalistic work, there were people, it only got like 200, likes or engagements or whatever. But there were people who were like, why are you putting this on my feed? Like, we don't care about this.
Right.
And
This isn't why we follow Anna Bauer.
Wow.
But by
Like,
the way,
rude.
anybody who would ask that question
doesn't
doesn't
really
know Anna Bauer.
No.
Right.
Because Anna Bauer once said to me early in our acquaintance, when she first started attending Lawfare editorial meetings, she once sheepishly introduced a subject by saying, this brings together my two great passions in life, lawfare and Taylor Swift. And so
True.
like anybody who would say this on Blue Sky just doesn't know who they're talking to.
I think the context of that, but there have been a few times when I've tried to get Lawfare to run Taylor Swift content. I think maybe the context of that was the attempted terrorist attack on the Taylor
Correct.
Swift Eras
Correct.
tour.
No, it was a
It is
totally
very much
legitimate
in
story, but you were
Lawfare,
a little sheepish about it.
I was. But okay, so oh, John, you found 9:07 p.m. I do not remember what time my
Yeah, so John, why don't you come in and give us a sit report about whether somebody scooped Anna on Reddit.
It looks like mine was after, I think. But I'm
Yeah,
not
so
sure.
you actually got scooped and
edited
didn't even know it.
Well,
But
I
here's
need to
the
be on
better.
Reddit more.
Reddit is not a real publication.
Look, I'm just saying citizen journalism happens.
I want to say though, I don't really feel like it counts as being scooped. Like I was not. It's
No,
not like
you
I thought I
definitely
had
broke-
an exclusive.
you
it's not
definitely
like I
broke
thought
the
I had
story.
an exclusive. Like it. I just wanted to give people links.
I'm also not sure that timestamp. I mean, maybe there's a Pacific East Coast thing going on there. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it may have beaten you. I do think also, Ben, you understated how tricky it was to find these texts. I mean,
I learned that. Anna says it.
no, but she did. But even I think Anna understated it. Like, if you knew there were Taylor Swift texts in the Blake Lively litigation, you went to go look for them, you would spend quite a while, and I don't know that you would have found all the ones that Anna found. I mean, you had to understand kind of the way Taylor Swift talks in her text messages. Maybe Anna could speak to
Oh,
that.
so I can tell you how I did it actually. At first I was just poking around and I was like, okay, this is not going to bring me any, this is not going to bring me happiness doing this. So what I did was I went and looked at the actual substantive motions that these exhibits were filed in relation to, or like there were other motions, like there was a statement of facts or something that someone had filed at some point. Honestly, this docket is a beast. I mean, it is like, it is impossible to find, like, it, not since the Curling versus Raffensperger case, which none of you will know what that means, but trust me, it was a mammoth in terms of finding anything. But this case is just a nightmare when you are trying to find anything. I went and looked at substantive filings and I searched Swift. And anytime that there was a citation to an exhibit related to the substantive content of Taylor Swift, I would then go and like cross check it with the exhibits that were just filed. Does that make sense, John?
Oh, it absolutely does, but that's an undercount, right? I mean, just because those were the references, there may still be more, right?
Oh, for sure. And it's hard in some instances to know if it is Taylor Swift because it's like SA, like not Taylor, you know? Like
So it
that'll
looks like
be
it's
the
up to
acronym.
1255 docket entries. I tried to follow what was going on in this litigation. Just, I mean, I listen to Taylor Swift, but I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a rabid fan or anything. And I found it incomprehensible, or at least I wasn't willing to spend the hours required.
Yeah. Okay. Dan says the Taylor Blake texts were covered on TMZ. Yes, these text messages, I want to be clear, were covered by many, many outlets.
Anna gave you the
reason-
raw data.
Yeah, the reason why people are reading this Substack piece in particular is because I knew from reading gossip sites they were just going to do excerpts of it as opposed to actually giving you links to the documents. So I wanted to give people links to the actual, like, the data, you know?
So what do you think,
Thanks.
Anna? Are you gonna like switch careers now, abandon lawfare, and be like TMZ
We should
Raw.
do it. There's a lot more money in that.
Like, I mean, you clearly have. There's a niche for you here. The raw documents underlying the gossip magazines,
Yeah.
and
There's a lot of celebrity legal news.
You know,
you could
I
make
will-
a career of it.
I will say, you know, you guys know that I did go on TMZ last year.
So
I'm
did
not
you?
joking. And because of the Lindsay Halligan story, TMZ had me on, and it was hilarious because I'm sitting there waiting to talk to Harvey, which, if you guys know Harvey, you know who I'm talking about? The guy, like the main guy. Oh, okay. His name is Harvey. I think, like, what is it, Harvey Levinston or something? Anyway, I'm sitting there waiting to talk to Harvey. As someone who grew up watching TMZ, I'm like, this is so cool. I can't believe I'm on TMZ. And then he comes out and he's like, Anna, I'm so happy that you're here. We so appreciate it. But actually, after reading your story, I love what you guys are doing, but I just think that it's like our audience is not gonna understand the significance of it.
So speaking of links, Anna,
You're writing at a 10th grade reading level, and our audience is more like a 5th grade.
He was like, please come back on the show. We love what you're doing. I actually wonder if there's a clip out there of this, because he was YouTube live streaming. They YouTube live streamed the recording of their show, like kind of like it's like a Twitch stream or something.
that's
but-
awesome. You need to get that, like, booted from TMZ for being for being too sophisticated.
But it was actually interesting too, because he was like, and also, you know, like, we do get outreach from prosecutors all the time. And I'm like this? Like, I don't know. So it was interesting. But yeah, I do need to find the booted from TMZ clip.
So
All right.
Anna, I wanted to confirm, did you check the URLs in the text messages? Because I didn't
Some
feel
of-
like OCRing them and they were really long, but I wonder if any of them are still alive.
Hold that
So
thought.
yeah, save that thought. John, there might something
Okay.
tangent, like, related to that might be an interesting thing, but I can't say more.
All right, we have 3 minutes left, and I want to return the subject to Lindsay Halligan, who, let me check whether she's responded to. No response from Lindsay Halligan.
Shocking.
My feelings are
Really
hurt.
shocking.
My question for you is: are the disappearing messages set in the conversation with you?
Yeah, my disappearing messages are default set to a week.
Oh, so
which-
it's your disappear. Okay.
which is
All right.
why I had to check with you that this was actually her, because that was the right phone number, because it didn't have my previous, I was going to say, exchange with her, except it was a little bit of a one-way exchange. Yeah, so Lindsay, if you're listening, we want to hear from you. We're concerned. We want to know that you're okay and that your career is going to be all right. And we want to know whether you're still predicting that when all the evidence is out, Anna is going to be completely discredited, because right now she's not looking so discredited. She's looking kind of cheerful, and you're unemployed. So we want to check out whether you're standing by your prior text messages. Holly, Anna, you guys get the last word.
Oh, Anna, I think that this celebrity lawfare is, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, I mean, you could just go into celebrity law and maybe one day you could represent Taylor Swift.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
I mean, why not?
Don't
You
tempt
are,
her with a good time.
you are a Harvard law graduate. You are an accomplished person, and you're a rabid Swiftie. I mean, she could do much worse. I'm just
But
saying.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you draw a cat eye sharp enough to kill a man.
thank you, Holly.
I even know that reference.
Yeah, Ben, I can't believe that you remember that reference.
I know that reference because I have
We've done
talked
it on the show before.
with Catherine Pompilio about doing a Get Ready With Me video in which I do a cat eye sharp enough to kill a man. And
The question is, if you do a cat eye on a man, will it kill that man?
well, we're going to find out because this may be the next Get Ready With Me
I
video.
think it has
Folks,
to be.
we got to leave it there. We're going to be back tomorrow. I have many ideas about what's going to happen on the show tomorrow. One of them may be that Alicia Wanless and Ev Gaman come on to talk about Mark Carney's speech.
Yeah.
We have a great Canadian
Canadian
contingent on
delegation.
Dog Shirt TV. We want to talk about that. Another one, we ran an awesome piece about the Grand Conspiracy in by the estimable Molly Roberts. And by the way, the Grand Conspiracy is like totally menacing, but it's also funny as shit. And so thinking of maybe inviting Molly Roberts on to talk about Grand Conspiracies. We did a good Lawfare podcast on that. Also, my friend Dan Richman has a book coming out about the history of federal law enforcement. And I thought we might just invite Dan on to talk. I haven't talked to Dan about that, but maybe Dan should come on and talk about the history of federal law enforcement, which is a fascinating subject, which has very few histories of it.
My question is, by the time you have Dan on to talk about his book, will the government have complied with the order to return his property?
Well,
Because they keep
I
extending it.
do not want to talk about Dan's litigation or even make
No,
reference
I'm not
to that.
telling you to talk about it with
No,
him.
no.
I am just asking, will the deadline be complied with
Yes,
by then?
separately from all that, I want to have a conversation with him. Folks, important announcement. There will be no show on Monday because I will have just arrived in Kiev, assuming all my flights are on time and the train is on time. And so if you are expecting a show on Monday, change your expectations. It ain't going to happen. I'll have just arrived if everything goes well. So we're going to be back tomorrow, though. It's going to be okay. Stick with it. We got to get through today. And I am heading down to the Goat Rodeo studio to record a podcast with the great Elizabeth Surkoff. If you have not watched yesterday's Middle East Institute event, I want to say you should do that. That is an incredible speech that she gave, and for which she used no notes. And if I wish for you that you never get captured and tortured by terrorists, but if you do, I wish for you that you are capable of engaging in a real-time sociological study of the people who are holding you and coming away from it with fully formed, it's like they kidnapped a think tank that studied them. And it is an amazing presentation, complete with fabulous questions from Charles Lister, who is an amazing Syria scholar at MEI, and a modest contribution from me. And I really commend it to you all. We're going to be back tomorrow. As I just explained, I don't know who the co-hosts are going to be yet. I don't know who the guests are going to be yet, but I know that you will be there and I will be there and Anna will sleep straight through it. And tomorrow